Welcome to the Explainer. Every massive skyscraper, every sprawling bridge, heck, even your own home, it all starts with a blueprint, right? A super detailed plan that takes an idea and makes it real. But what about the blueprint for your career in construction? Yeah, that one's a little trickier to draw up, isn't it? Well, that's exactly what we're doing today. We are going to build that definitive guide to construction management, and we're going to lay the foundation for your success, one piece at a time. And this right here, this quote from a Reddit user, proper-birthday546, this just hits the nail on the head, doesn't it? That feeling of being totally overwhelmed by all the options, all the conflicting advice, it's so common. And it's not just 17-year-olds trying to pick a college, it's people who've been working for years and are looking for a change. It feels like everyone tells you their path is the right one, which just makes everything more confusing. So today, we are cutting through all that noise. We're going to build a clear blueprint for you based on what people actually in the industry have to say. All right, so here's our game plan. We've got 6 key parts to our blueprint. We'll start with that big question, school or work. Then we'll look at the 2 main paths to the top. After that, we'll talk skills, the difference between a PM and a CM, and wrap up by looking at what's next for the whole industry. So let's get right to it. Okay, first things first. We've got to lay the foundation. And that means tackling the one big decision that everyone in construction has to make at the start. Trust me, it's a debate people have very strong feelings about. So here it is, the age-old question. Do you hit the books, or do you grab a hard hat and get right to work? You've got the formal degree on one side, a structured path where you learn the theory behind engineering, business, all the legal stuff. And on the other side, you've got that real hands-on experience, that practical, gut-level knowledge you can only get from being on a job site at dawn. So what do employers actually want? Well, let's look at the hard numbers first, because honestly, they kind of speak for themselves. We're talking about $1 million plus $1 million. That's the typical bump in lifetime earnings you get with a bachelor's degree versus just a high school diploma. I mean, think about it. In a world of risky investments, a college degree is still one of the few things that pretty much guarantees a huge financial payback. Just from a money perspective, it gives you a massive head start and can fast-track you into those management roles. So if you do go the school route, where should you look? Well, we looked at what the pros are saying on places like Reddit, and a clear pattern emerges. It's not about the Ivy League name. It's all about industry connections and job placement. You hear names like Colorado State and Cal Poly SLO come up again and again because their grads get hired, period. Texas A&M? That's a straight-up recruiting powerhouse. The biggest companies go there to find new talent. But here's the real kicker. Look at the shout-out for the University of Cincinnati. Why? Because of their co-op program. They literally build real-world job experience right into the degree, and that tells you everything you need to know about what the industry values. In this quote right here, this just perfectly sums up that last point. A degree gets you in the door. Sure, it gets your resume to the top of the pile, but it's not the golden ticket it used to be. The game has changed. Employers now expect you to show up with what feels like 2 years of experience already under your belt. They want proof that you can hit the ground running. They want to know, have you actually been on a site? Do you get the lingo? Can you handle the pressure? That's the new baseline. So what does this all mean? It means that old debate, school versus experience, it's over. It's just not a thing anymore. The real answer isn't either or, it's both and. You need both. Think of it like this. Your degree is the architectural drawing. It's the plan, the theory, the network. But those internships, those co-op programs, those summer jobs swinging a hammer, that's the steel and concrete that actually brings the blueprint to life. You put them together, and that's what makes you someone a company is excited to hire right out of the gate. All right, so now that we've established you need both school smarts and street smarts, how does that actually play out in a career? Well, it usually funnels into one of 2 main paths. And let me be clear, both of these are totally valid, totally respected ways to get to the top. They just start in very different places. First up, you've got the trades pathway. This is the old school, boots on the ground route. You start as a laborer, doing the heavy lifting, really learning the fundamentals from the ground up. From there, you get into a trade. Maybe you become an apprentice electrician or a carpenter. You put in your time, you master your craft, and you become a journeyman. Then you start leading people. First as a foreman, in charge of a specific crew, and eventually, you could become the superintendent, the absolute boss of the entire job site. The person who knows deep in their bones exactly how a building is supposed to go together. And let's just pause on that word, journeyman. This is a really big deal. It's not just another step on the ladder. It's a huge milestone. It means you've gone through years of intense training. You've passed the tests, and you are now officially recognized as a skilled, competent professional in your trade. You're someone who can be trusted to work independently and get the job done right. In the trades world, that title carries an immense amount of respect. Okay, path number 2, the education pathway. This one starts in the classroom, usually with a 4-year degree. Your first job is probably going to be project engineer. Now, don't let the engineer part fool you. You are the information hub. You're handling all the paperwork, the RFIs, the submittals, all the critical details that keep a project moving. You're basically the project manager's right-hand person. From there, you move up the ladder. Assistant project manager, then project manager, where you're the one responsible for the budget, the schedule, everything. Keep climbing and you become a senior PM running huge jobs, and maybe one day a project executive who's thinking about the big picture, company-wide strategy, and profits. So it doesn't matter which path you take, the trades route or the office route. To actually succeed, you need to have the right tools in your toolkit. And I'm not just talking about hammers and saws. I'm talking about a specific set of skills, a mix of technical chops and serious leadership abilities. Because having just one without the other, yeah, that's not going to work. Let's start with your technical toolkit, the hard hat skills. These are the absolute must-have non-negotiables. I'm talking about things like project planning and scheduling. And not just making a pretty chart. Can you make a schedule that can survive contact with reality? That accounts for rain delays and a shipment of steel getting stuck in port? Can you build a budget and then stick to it when things get expensive? And you've got to know the tech. BIM is huge now. And safety? You have to know OSHA standards backwards and forwards. No excuses. People's lives depend on it. But here's the thing. Knowing how to read a plan is one thing. Knowing how to lead people is another. Your leadership skills, what we're calling the blueprint skills, this is what really separates the good from the great. It's all about communication. Can you calm down a nervous client who's worried about a delay? And in the next breath, can you go motivate your team when it's freezing cold and morale is low? Because I guarantee you, things will go wrong. A supplier will mess up. A key person will quit. Your ability to stay calm, solve the problem, and lead through that chaos, that's the real magic. And if you don't believe me, just look at this chart. This is the skill mix for a modern manager, and it might surprise you. Check it out. Leadership and communication is the single biggest slice. It's even bigger than technical knowledge. That's the reality of the job today. It's a total balancing act. You've got to be a wizard with a spreadsheet, but you also have to be a great communicator who can lead a tough meeting or negotiate a high-stakes deal with a client. Okay, so as you move up in your career, you're going to hear 2 titles thrown around a lot: project manager and construction manager. People sometimes use them like they're the same thing, but they're not. They are 2 very different, very important roles. So let's break down exactly what each one does. All right, check out this table. On one side, you've got the project manager, the PM. Think of them as being in the skybox, looking at the whole field. Their world is the big picture, the overall budget, the master schedule, and keeping the client happy. They live in the office, in meetings, and on the phone. Then you have the construction manager, the CM. This person is on the field. They're in the mud and the dirt, managing the day-to-day action. They're leading the crews, coordinating the subs, and solving the problems that pop up every single hour. So if you want a really simple way to think about it, here it is. The project manager plans the game. The construction manager wins it on the field. The PM is the coach with the clipboard, drawing up the plays, managing the clock. The CM is the quarterback, executing those plays, making adjustments on the fly, and leading the team down the field. You can't win without a great game plan, and you can't win without great execution. You need both. Okay, last section. No blueprint is complete if it doesn't look to the future. You can't just prepare for the job that exists today. You have to get ready for the job of tomorrow. And believe me, construction is changing, and it's changing fast. The 2 forces shaking everything up are BIM and AI. BIM, Building Information Modeling, is basically creating a perfect digital replica of the building before you even break ground. We're talking a 3D model so detailed you can see that a pipe is going to clash with an air duct months in advance and fix it with a click instead of a saw. Then you bring in AI. It can scan data from 1,000 past projects and warn you that your current schedule is at high risk for a delay. Or it can use drones to scan the site and tell you exactly how much concrete you need to order. It's a total game changer. Now, all this new tech creates new problems to solve, which really means new opportunities for you to shine. Think about it. The person who can figure out how to get all these different software platforms to actually talk to each other, that person is worth their weight in gold.
The manager who understands cybersecurity and can protect all this sensitive project data, absolutely essential. The bottom line is this. The people who aren't scared of this stuff, who lean in and actually master these new tools, they are going to be the ones running the show in the future.
Look, this tech revolution isn't something to be afraid of. It's the single biggest opportunity this industry has seen in a generation. The job is changing. It's not just about managing people and materials anymore. It's about managing data. For anyone who's ready to learn, to adapt, and to build with data, the future of construction management is brighter and more exciting than ever. So the only question left is your blueprint ready for it?